I'm Dr. Ellie Cannon, and today we're going to discuss how contagious your little one's colds can be and how to prevent them spreading. With me today we have three parents, Paul, Sarah and Amy. So how long do you find your kids normally have a cold for? Is it a few days or are they over them quickly?
Normally a couple of days, but I think the problem I have is my toddler's in nursery, so he generally has a lot of colds, and my 6-month-old will then get another one. So it's kind of like a cyclical thing with just never-ending cold. So
that is so normal, and a story that I hear over and over again. Winters will eventually get better, I'm sure, as the little one grows up, but they go through all of these viruses, and particularly with a child in daycare or nursery, or once they're at school, they're picking up stuff all the time. They're playing so closely with their friends. It's very easy for viruses to spread. So do you find with Beatrice she picks up a lot of coughs and colds?
She certainly does. Like whilst we were at nursery, it was the same situation. One would have a cold in the nursery, the other one gets it, and they just keep going around. But they come and go.
Common colds are contagious, but it can be hard to keep your little one away from other children, particularly if they have siblings. Generally speaking, they're at their most contagious when they have their most symptoms, but they can actually be contagious with a cold for as long as 2 weeks. The best ways to avoid infection are good hygiene, so good hand washing and making sure they always sneeze into a tissue. Do you know how long cold is contagious for?
Wouldn't have a clue.
No?
I've always just assumed it's a couple of days.
I'll literally say 48 hours. I mean, you base it around how they're acting. If they're sleeping again and they don't seem too bad, I say
probably not
off to school again.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they're at their most contagious when they are at their illest, so exactly as you say. So that could be sort of within the first 48 or 72 hours of the first few days. Actually, with some of the viruses that cause a cold, they can be contagious as long as the kids have the illness, so maybe even up to 2 weeks. But you just have to judge it on your instinct, how they seem, and obviously, as much as you can, realistically, keep them away from others. That's quite difficult when you've got 2 kids though, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're hands all over each other all the time. And it's next to impossible, isn't it, to keep them separated.
It's very difficult in a family environment. Obviously, loads of hand washing and making sure that people are, using tissues as much as possible, which is again not easy, but a little bit you can try and keep the germs from spreading. To prevent the spread of a cold, ensure your family has a good routine of hand washing, always sneezing into tissues, and not sharing cups and cutlery. So first of all, how do you know when your little ones have got a cold? Seems an obvious question, but Amy, tell me, what sort of symptoms do your boys get? Flu is not simply a bad cold, although some of the symptoms may be similar.